Swamiji, why are most of the pujas or kathas made to scare us from God? Does God punish us? Similarly, regarding the artis, praising the Lord is fine, but it says if we do arti of the Lord, we will be blessed with sukh sampati and all wishes will come true. Is it right to do the arti with such selfish desires?
It is basic human psychology of carrot and stick policy. Simple. What else it is? When logic cannot be understood by somebody, suppose a small child is there and the child is very mischievous, child is running around everywhere. Mother has to feed the child. What will the mother do? Catch the child, make the child sit somewhere and tell the child, you better eat now, otherwise ghost will come. Will you tell the child, see, according to the laws of our body, we should have every 3 hours some meals, otherwise acidity will develop. Our metabolism is according to the cycle of the sun, and because of that, when you get up in the morning, you should eat, and then every 3 hours, and don't mix cereal and don't mix fruit and cereal. Will you say any of this logic? Fellow will say, oh, you keep telling something, he'll run and go away and he'll start playing. You cannot give logic when the child is not ready for it. That time somewhere some fear psychology has to be used now. Either you use love or you use fear. Either of these two. If you are able to invoke love, you give the favorite dish to the child with the child love, the fellow will sit and eat. And if you want to give him brinjal, then also you bribe him. You take this one brinjal and I will give you one chocolate. Something. What is the connection between brinjal and chocolate? Nothing. But then we do it, no? Because that's the initial level. You cannot. So it will be said, if you do this, God will punish you. So the person will be scared to do adharma. But that is a very primitive level. One has to outgrow that. Then you give logic. Then the self-inspiration happens and one will follow it because one knows, not out of fear. So it's an initial level and it is there everywhere. Even in science it is there. Everywhere you cannot explain logic. They will say, if you do this, this will happen. Does anybody question? Have you ever questioned? If you touch electricity, you will get shock. Try. How? Do electricity yoga. Take out a plug and put the hand inside. No. It will give shock. No, it is a fact. It's a statement of a fact. But when it is said, it will appear as though it is very scary. It is a fact that when I do something wrong, it will hurt me or not. Now, I am not capable of understanding logic, so will anybody scientifically tell that why is electricity giving me shock? No, it will just be told electricity will give shock, full stop. So if you do this, this will happen to you. Bhagavan will punish you like this. And there will be some stories around that. But all those are very, 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 very primitive level. One has to outgrow that. And one cannot say that remove all these. If you remove all these, to instill that samskar in that person who is not available for logic, who is not available for revelation, who is not available for intuition, will not be possible. And they are the majority. What will we do with that? And this method follows everywhere, in education also. You teach the child doesn't even know, why should I learn ABCD, EFG, happily I am playing around, why are you teaching me all this? You say you have to become big, you have to do great things, so you have to learn. How many children actually learn because of that? Majority learn out of fear only. So at one level this will be applicable. It is not to be applied everywhere, and it should not be used to control the people or exploit the people. That is not correct. So fear definitely is there. But remember one thing, God does not punish. Our Gurudev used to say a beautiful line. Man is punished not for his sins but by his sins. Law of karma will work. Cause and effect will work. As per the cause and effect. That's why Bhagavan says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priya. I am equal to all beings. There is nobody greater to me, more dearer to me, and nobody I hate. It's not that if I break 16 coconuts every Monday, then Bhagwan will become very pleased and bless me with some extra property. And somebody who doesn't do Bhagwan will curse that person. No, God doesn't punish like that. So then why should I pray? I pray to make my mind single pointed. I pray to surrender my ego and invoke the higher, and that grace factor flows in, and then many things happen. So it has an impact. So God is not punishing, God is not rewarding. It goes by cause and effect properly. Similarly, regarding the artis, praising the Lord is fine, but if we say we do arti of the Lord, will be blessed with Sukh Sampatti, then only you will do, no? Until the temptation of the result is not there, why are you all sitting here? You all are sitting here because there is some result in your mind. No, we will benefit from this, so we have come here. Is anybody such a great karma yogi just to say that I just come because I want to come? I come because there is a result in my mind which I want. Result only will appeal to everybody. Don't be asking everything, what will I do? Why should I do this? What will I benefit? Why will I do this? We will ask, it's natural human tendency. So it will be said, if you do this, you will be blessed with Sukh, Sampatti, this. And please remember, this is not a false promise. It is a fact. Because you are connecting that person to the source of Sukh and Sampatti. Sukh and Sampatti is not outside there. It comes from the Lord within. And the more I tune up with Bhagwan within, the true Sukh is within, and true Sampatti is also inside. It is not just the wealth outside. It is the santosh, it is the contentment, it is the happiness, it is the joy of doing one's duty. That is the true Sukh Sampatti. And when I think about Bhagwan, I let go of my ego. Truly Sukh Sampatti comes or not? An arti when I do, what is the symbolism of the arti? Camphor is there and you are burning that camphor. And the camphor completely gets burned. That camphor is our ego. If that ego completely burns, in a traditional temple if you go, you cannot see Bhagwan until you take a lamp or a Kapoor Arti. Because it is dark. The whole symbolism is our heart. Bhagwan is in our heart, but it is dark. Meaning ignorance is there in the heart. And I am not able to see the Lord within. So when you take that camphor and you show the fire and then the darshan of Bhagwan happens. Same way in the fire of knowledge, this ego is burned. Then the divinity within is experienced. So Sukh Sampatti will literally happen. It is not a false promise. And externally also it will happen. Because He is the source of everything. So it's not a false blessing. No, Swamiji, we don't believe in all this. Okay, don't believe. You will believe in the law of attraction. If you want to attain something, throw it in the universe and the universe will conspire to give it to you. Not even be inspired. Matlab conspiracy karke you will get something. Are kamal hai. How did universe give you that? Same thing, right? It is law. The mind thinks consistently something, it generates those forces, it will manifest in life. But in that there is a big disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? I got it. Law of attraction worked because I thought about it. Here you say whatever came, by Bhagwan's grace it came. Tan man dhan sab tera, sab kuch hai tera. Tera tujhko arpan, kya lage mera. You have blessed me with all this, all belongs to you only. It's your grace it has come, I use it for your work, nothing belongs to me. That's a big difference between law of attraction and this spiritual arti. How does universe give anything? Unless there is the Karta who is Ishvara. Universe is Jada, it is inert, substance, it is 5 elements. Universe cannot give anything. Who is the creator of the universe? The creator, the sustainer, that entity, Ishvara, blesses everybody. Now if people don't want to accept the existence of Ishvara, that is their limitation. So Arti when we do, the wishes come true. There is no doubt in that. To the extent the mind is having that bhav, to that extent it will happen. Is it right to do the Arti with such selfish desires? There is no problem. If I want something, so if a child wants something, suppose a child wants, nowadays the children want what? PlayStation, mobile, some technology, some iPad. What will the child do? Come to the parent, no? give me this. If I want something, where will I go? Bhagwan is my parent. I'll ask Bhagwan only. Bhagwan, please bless me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's nothing wrong in that. That is the first level of devotion. Not first, second level. First level is I remember Bhagwan only in times of trouble. Artha Bhakta, that is called. 7th chapter of the Gita. One teacher asked the child, Beta, do you pray before food? So the child says, no, my mother is a very good cook. I don't pray before food. Because his thinking is, only if I am in trouble I should pray to Bhagwan. So many people do know. They may not believe in Bhagwan, but when exam is there, whichever Bhagwan, whichever form you are, if somebody says, idhar jao, तुमको एग्जाम में सफलता मिलेगी, वो चला जाएगा उधर. It's called Artha Bhakta, who will remember Bhagwan only in trouble. Then Artharthi Bhakta is one who will remember Bhagwan whenever he wants something. So he'll have one demand list. Bhagwan bless me with this, Bhagwan bless me with that, I want this, I want that. There's nothing wrong with that. Bhagwan also, there's a false notion when we say that Bhagwan, man proposes and God. Come to Hindu culture. What Hindu culture says, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Whatever you seek from the Lord, that Bhagwan will bless you with. In whichever form you worship Him, He will bless you with Shraddha in that form. Whatever way you invoke Him, in that way He will manifest also. You invoke Him as Lakshmi, Bhagwan will come as Lakshmi. You invoke Him as Saraswati, as knowledge, He will come as Saraswati. Any form, any aspect you want. You want glory, Bhagwan will manifest as glory. You want power, strength, He manifest as that. So, Aarti, if you do with that desire, there is no problem. But at some point, one will understand that if Bhagwan is blessing me with all this, what is my relationship with that Lord? I want to know about this Bhagwan. Who is this Bhagwan? Then one comes to the third level. One is Jignasu, one who wants to know about the Lord. And last is a Jnani, who becomes one with the Lord. So these are levels of evolution. And in Hindu culture, nobody is condemned. Nobody said, "Arey, ye to kitna lalchi bhakt hai." No, nobody is condemned. Because these are levels of evolution. If somebody wants something, ask Bhagwan. Because through that at least you are remembering Bhagwan. No? Nothing wrong in that. Whenever naturally you grow out of it, you will grow out of it.